Hi guys, today I have this Bosch horn. This is off a 1956 VW Beetle. This is in really rough shape. This is going to be the worst one I've ever restored. Hopefully we can do it. It does have rust actually making holes in it here. It's pushed these apart. So we'll see. We'll try to start with some heat and try to remove these bolts. We'll take this tag off. I'll screen print a new tag. We'll get a new tag made for that. And just start with removing all this. This bolt broke off. I think these are intact. There might have been some insulators around here. I'll have to check. This will be challenging. So stick around. Okay, we're going to start with getting the tag off. Hopefully these will come off without heat. I think everything else is going to need heat, but we'll just try a little bit of Croil on here. So here's what's left of the tag. We'll screen print a new one. So we'll start with just some MAP gas. So the inside actually looks pretty good. This is going to be the problem area right here. Probably going to have to put some braze on there. We'll try it, see if we can get it to work. Next thing, we'll try to get this bracket off. See if a little heat will take this. This is the mounting bolt that broke off. Yeah, I think we're going to have to get this in the vise. This will be a good candidate for welding a nut onto there, unscrewing it. Okay, I welded a nut onto here and put some WD-40 lubricant, kind of working it loose. That did the trick. Now I'll work on this one here. Croil. think we'll get an impact wrench. And this cover plate should come off of here, looks like. Be pretty careful with this. Not much left of this piece here. Pretty rusty. I think maybe I'll put it in some Evapo-Rust. I'd be afraid to, bead blast on this. I think you would just be left with Swiss cheese. But we'll try Evapo-Rust, see if we can, chemically strip this rust off. And I think this hole here, we're just going to try brazing. This here has a thin washer, and a thicker washer, and then this little washer. And then this comes off. So this has a little rubber washer inside of it. Okay, so we have to figure out what to do with these terminals. They're pretty much non-existent. They're eroded all the way down. I tried getting the screws out and it's just impossible. So we're gonna make new ones. I'm gonna mill these out of here. There, so I milled those flush, so hopefully they'll come out. I'm not really sure how they're attached. It looks like these washers had little crimps on the side. So it's acting like kind of like one of those push washers, those push fasteners. We'll see. So the washers came loose. There you go. So here's how this is. It has a little insulating collar and an insulating washer. Yeah, these are pretty much gone. So I ordered up some brass, some square brass, and we'll mill some out in the milling machine, make some new ones with a screw. Like 7 millimeters is the width we're going for. So there we have it. Okay, so I have a hole drilled all the way through the long way through this terminal, and then halfway on the side. This side piece here, this hole, will take the screw to clamp the wire down, and this one we need tapped because we need to put a stud in here that's going to mount to the horn. So we're going to tap here to the screw, and then here halfway to the middle. This brass will tap pretty nice, unless when you drilled it, if you get it too hot, it can work harden. So you want to be careful about that. And it's a little challenging to tap, but you could anneal it if you had to. So that's tapped there to accept the mounting stud, and I'll tap the side here for the screw. That gets the screw there. This here is just an M4 screw that we're going to use for mounting. And then I didn't tap this all the way down, so it tightens up and kind of jams in place. You could use a little Loctite in here, but it is electrical contact, so I've never had trouble with it, but I guess it could interfere with it. So we tighten that down, and then I'll just cut this head off of here, and we'll have a stud to mount this. So now we have a place for the wire to go in, a screw to clamp it down, and then this will mount to the horn. Okay, so I have the logo designed here on Corel Draw is what this is. And I did a printout. And this here is the original badge. And I have it pretty much right on. And then what I did is I went ahead and printed it out onto a positive, this is called. And we will go ahead and shoot this onto a screen printing screen. Okay, so I'm in the dark room here, and I have the positive underneath the screen, doing it on a 230 mesh, which is kind of like a sandpaper grit. It just is how many holes there are per square inch. And 230 is pretty fine. It goes up quite a bit from there, but 230 should be okay on this. It's got to be fine enough to replicate the detail, but thick enough to allow the ink through. So this should be good. And we'll go ahead. This vacuum's down. That'll vacuum it down tight to the glass, and then we'll turn on the lights. And it's basically just like a tanning bed, a UV light. So the UV light will cure the emulsion, and then we will wash it out with water. So everything that was cured will stay in, and everything not cured will wash out, which was the black in the logo. So. So this is what I'm going to use here, this Rust-Oleum gloss black. Should work pretty good for this. And there we have it. Not perfect, but better than what we had. So I have 6 of them made. Hopefully out of all 6 we'll get one good one. Okay, we'll grind this down and see what we have. Looks promising. Okay, we have this all fixed here, filled with the bronze, braze. So no more Swiss cheese. We'll get this into, I'll put a 2K primer on it, sand it out a little, and then paint. And this will just get the paint. I went over this with a bead blaster. The bracket's all set. That'll get paint. And this piece here will also get some black paint. So we're on to painting. Okay, we have everything back from paint. The first thing we need to do is put the terminals back in. These are the ones we made here compared to these are the originals. So I put these were originally just had like a clamp on here, kind of like a push washer that kind of held it in place. And these I just tapped a screw into it. So that's how that'll be secured in here. Now we need to solder the leads back on. Okay, so we have these soldered on. Check for continuity. So we're good to go there. Old and the new. Okay, we're going to go ahead with the assembly. We have it all soldered together. I'm just going to put this together dry without gaskets on here. I don't have the paper gasket, but what I'll do is put it together dry. We'll test it. I'm not even sure if this works. So in case I have to take it apart in that, I don't want to silicone it up, but that's how I'll seal this, is with some silicone. So we got to start by assembling it all. Now we'll put on our screen printed logo. There's the final product. Now we just have to hope it works. Okay, so I have it on the bench here. I have my power supply hooked up, dialed in about 6.5, 7 volts. So we'll hook up. This is the positive, this is the negative. The negative in there, and we'll see what we get. Oh, that actually sounds pretty good for straight out of the gate. I'd say that works pretty good. Doesn't even need any tuning. Sounds just like an old 1950s VW. This was a pretty challenging restoration. There is still a lot of pitting. Could have been sanded out more and got it a lot nicer, but it is what it is. It's going on the old barn find, so it'll be perfect. Sounds good. We just have to add the silicone around the outside to waterproof it, but then it'll be good to go. New screen printed logo, new terminals, and a new paint job. So thanks a lot for tuning in, and please give me a like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.